What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Orcs Must Die 3. We are playing OMD3 with the Xbox Game Pass for PC. I am a PC Game Pass partner, and Xbox gave me a Game Pass subscription for free. We are here on the Order Enclave. Let's try to get our 5 skulls here. Now, this is a natural progression playthrough, so I haven't gone back and grinded out any skulls. I've got only what I have achieved by naturally playing through the game up to this point. Let's jump in and we'll go through our loadout. Alright, so I'm going to be using the stone staff with increased secondary range. I've got the trap reset trinket, where traps passively reset faster. The mana rage trinket, where I've got an increased mana pool. The tar trap with the persistent slow, brimstone that has been swapped over to arcane damage. We got ceiling lasers with more lasers. We've got barricades that take reduced damage, grinders with slow, arrow walls with fire, and then the ceiling ballista with increased range. Now we're going to have 3 different spawn points on this one. You can actually loop 2 of the spawn points around together. However, I found this map is actually pretty quick to run and relatively smooth if you just treat each lane as its own unit. So that's what I'm going to do here. We will have a bunch of flyers that we're going to want to be on the lookout for, but we're just going to go something like this to get things started. So we're going to go with a few grinders there. We're going to have an arrow wall shooting through the lane. Let's get a little brimstone and tar going right up front. And then what? Let's throw in some ceiling lasers. That will give us a little persistent damage. Actually, let me get rid of that grinder in the back, and we'll take additional ceiling laser instead. Let's go ahead and let it fly. This one we got 14.5 minutes. So fairly generous part time. The flyers will take some weird routes, so the flyers are going to come from up top, not down below, so we won't want to keep an eye out for those guys. Let's just go ahead and let it fly here. Basically, we're just going to chill in the kill box until we get those flyer spawns. Those, of course, will come as triangles on the minimap, and you see we've got our first group here. Just going to focus on killing them myself with the stone staff, secondary attack. That's going to stone enemies, and it's instant death to flying mobs, so quite powerful. And yeah, it makes dealing with the flyers just real easy. You can also use your little freezy ring there. I don't have that one unlocked yet. I always go with the stone staff just to get things started, yet that is a very viable choice, no doubt. Let's see, they are right above me here. And we got one more wave over here. Let's go with a couple more grinders. We'll throw down one more, and then let's start working on a little bit of last resort. So if we go ahead and head on back down to the rift here, let's see, where do we want to put them? Now, I've got the ballistas with the increased range. We've got that specifically so I can just kind of throw them in over top of the spawns, or pardon me, over top of the rift, and get a little last resort protection for particularly any flying mobs that come through. But of course, they are going to hit the ground mobs as well. If your grinders get jammed up, of course, you can always pop your trap reset trinket. I mainly bring it along just for the traps reset faster as a passive. I lose a combo, of course, but it does make it so that my traps are going to reset a little bit quicker. Remember, by line of sighting the flyers behind these pillars or whatever will make life a little bit easier. And the increased secondary range on the stone staff is quite substantial. So we even see those guys way up top there. They are still in good stuff there. Now for this one, we're going to come on over. I'm going to go ahead and block this lane. Let's see. Let's block them off. Let's just block it, say, right there. And we'll create a nice little kill box right here in the corner that will basically allow us to do pretty much the exact same thing. So we're going to throw down some grinders. We got some brimstone up front, a little bit of tar. We don't have room for the ceiling lasers here. But besides that, everything should pretty much be automated on this one. Now this map is quite a bit tougher on Rift Lord difficulty, which we will get to after we complete these Warmage maps. And on Warmage difficulty, this one, in my opinion, is probably one of the easiest of the entire DLC. Of course, Orcs Must Die games are kind of known for the DLCs being more difficult content, and that is definitely true without a doubt with this DLC. However, this particular map is not too tough, really, overall. Getting frozen up here. Let's go ahead and get these guys dealt with. And then I was just trying to get another grinder there. I do want to save a little bit of coin up. Saving a little coin is going to give me more of those ballistas to throw down. And I pat the enemies up around this way just because we do have that generous part time. So it allows us, a little easier tracking on the ground mobs. We don't have to worry about them sneaking in from behind here. They're going to come in right down this main center lane. Now this is where those two lanes would join if you decided to path them all into one place. So there is some things you can do with that. You could like barricade out and into this corner, and that would force the enemies to come up and around into here, which would give you a nice little corner kill box there. Or you can just leave it separate like I've done right here. So just watching the mini-map, really all we're concerned about is any leaks. We could get a couple of the heavier mobs leaking through, like there's Fire Fiend made it through, and then the flyers, of course, are taking their own path, so we want to be conscious of that. And then we've got our final lane opening up. Now this one is relatively easy and straightforward to deal with. Just going to go with kind of a standard issue kill box. That may have been a little excessive. We're going to just throw down some grinders. We're going to put down some ceiling lasers. And then we're going to get that brimstone. And is that where I want it? Let's put the brimstone right in front just so it looks better with the grinders. Let's get one more brimstone in behind there and then let it fly. Now, wave 4 here, if you're going to have any mobs get sneaky on you, wave 4 could definitely potentially be it. You see the mobs do come out of that lane first, so they're going to smash through this door first thing. This particular one, we do have some heavy mobs. You see we got an ogre marching right on in. However, we've got a nice little kill box set up. Now, of course, these are very separated from where our other lanes are. So it's easy to get distracted and have those other lanes come out. So you do want to keep an eye on that mini-map for sure. And then we can keep building it out and kind of do whatever we want here with this one. We do have the other enemies coming, but I've got a little bit of time here, so I'm just going to make sure this lane is good and clear. We can pop a trap reset trinket to reset those grinders. And now, of course, you see we've got some flyers coming down. So it's definitely going to be the battle of the flyers, just paying attention to them. The stone staff makes dispatching them pretty darn easy. And then you just have to line of sight those projectiles. Now, the more of these ballistas you can get in back at the spawn, the better off you're going to be. I usually like to spread them out just a little bit, so they're not all shooting at the same enemy every time. But to be honest with you, most of the flyers on this one you can just knock out yourself pretty darn easily, really. Alright, so let's see. Let's get a couple more lasers in. Let's go another barricade. We can actually get an arrow wall like right there and right there for a little crossfire. Let's just go ahead and throw a couple more grinders in, and that lane should be pretty much automated. So we will want to keep an eye on it just to make sure there's no leaks. However, we've got a pretty darn solid build up there. Here, of course, the armored ogre, you're going to get them out a lot quicker if you can stun them inside of those lasers. The lasers are lightning damage, of course, so that is going to give that shock value. We got another knoll rolling down, and some more flyers dropped on our head there. Go ahead and get this knoll out of the way here. Plenty of mana for the flyers. We got one more knoll. This one is a grenadier. But as long as we can find those heads, popping them is not really an issue. Man, that guy made it all the way through. That's kind of surprising. We're clearing him here. Looks like we got more flyers. Got some more up here as well. Let's just let them all get into range. Let's see. We weren't able to blast them all down, but we did get quite a few. The flyers have pretty hefty range damage for sure. Now we've got 6,000. We can kind of do whatever we want. I'm just going to throw a few more ballistas down. Now, as I said, I like to keep the rows kind of separate. It just makes it so that, you know, ideally they're shooting at different enemies as they pass through. What can we do here? We can do something else here. We'll just go something like that to kind of close the deal a little bit there. Lots more flyers. We still have 5 minutes left. So the part-time, of course, can be an issue, but on the same note, it is fairly generous all at the same time. You saw we've got those kobolds came out and took some shots on that barricade. The barricades that take reduced damage can usually absorb that. Come on back and get healed up all the way and just kind of let them flow. 5 minutes left and only, what, a wave and a half to complete. So getting the part-time should not really be a huge issue. It's just letting the mobs come out. Really, I think most people that are going to lose that 5th skull on this map, it's going to be lost due to the flyers. The flyers do just take some weird paths, and they can catch you off guard, no doubt. Since that is the main thing we're paying attention to, it's not really a huge issue. Looks like we got... Is that all the flyers? I think that might be all the flyers. We can throw a couple up here too to help out a little bit with the flyer lanes. Go something like that. We've got that increased range, so we're going to get some pot shots going off there. And it looks like we got a few shots in on some barricades too. That was probably over here? No? Now, since this barricade is low, I'm going to go ahead and replace that out and sell it. And I don't really feel like I need to do much else of anything. I mean, we can throw some stuff in just to use up the coin and get a little bit more safety. But I think for the most part, we're in pretty good shape. So, like I said, it just all boils down to the flyers. We got our first flyer lane is coming out over here. And we can just stone step those guys down. We do have a few more behind them here. And then we got some armored ogres. Looks like I did not keep them inside of the lasers like I like to do. Go ahead and pop our mana rage and our trap reset trinket. Deal with these gnolls back here where we've got the heals. Alright. Gnolls down. Looking pretty good. Once again, just on the lookout for all of these flying enemies. The ground mobs are pretty easy to see. The flyers, however, not so much. All right, we've got a second wave coming through here, so we won't be able to hold all of those off. So we do need to kobold that second wave. A barricade is down.
Do they have any bigger ones?
Not really sure where a barricade went down at.
For a split second, I thought about maybe.
Is it one of the front ones? We got one more flyer. I better get this flyer down. Yeah, it looks like the flyer got wrecked. And we're just about there. We got, what, 2 more enemies. We got some mountain trolls. And still a pretty healthy 2 minutes left on the part-time. So relatively easy 5 skulls on that one. Like I said, as long as you're paying attention to the flyers, as far as the Drastic Steps DLC, I think this map is probably the easiest one to 5 skull. But that will do it for now. Thanks an absolute ton for watching, and I will see ya next time around. Take it easy.